Today we're going to take a look at replacing idler pulleys on this Chevy Impala with a 3.5 liter engine. Now we've got a smooth pulley and we've also got a grooved pulley here as well. And so there's multiple idler pulleys on this particular vehicle. We've got a smooth one right up top here next to the alternator. The bearing is making a lot of noise in it. So while we're in there, I'm going to go ahead and replace this grooved idler pulley as well. That's located towards the front of the engine here, just above the AC compressor. So while I got the belt off, these things probably have the same amount of rotations on them in their life cycle. So if the bearing went bad on one, well, let's go ahead and replace the other one as well. So I'm going to set these off to the side. And one of the first things I'm going to do here is remove the overflow bottle on the cooling system. Now we've got the vehicle off. Got the keys removed so nobody could actually crank it over or potentially start the vehicle while we're working on it here. We need to be safe. And the vehicle is cool, so I'm not worried about getting burned here by touching any of the coolant. So there's just two nuts here. I'm using a 10 millimeter socket and a ratchet to remove those nuts. Now I'm going to remove the hose clamp here on the fill neck. Then I'll very gently rotate the hose, kind of break it free and slide it back here. And now that's going to allow me to lift this coolant bottle out of the way. And immediately it frees up a lot of room to help me get the belt tensioner loose, and also frees up some space here to get at this top pulley. So I've got my special tool here, and I'm going to use this on the belt tensioner to release the tension. And once the tension is released, now I can slide the belt off here. I'm not going to take the belt completely off because sometimes it can be a little tricky to reroute on some of those lower accessories there or on the crank. But I just got it off the top here. So let's take a little closer look at this pulley here. And it's just one bolt going through it. So in all reality, I could take a socket, or I'm just going to take a box end 15 millimeter wrench here and loosen the bolt here. Okay, well now we can see a little better that smooth pulley on the next to the alternator here. So I've got my wrench on there, and I'm simply going to loosen up the bolt. There, I've got the pulley removed. You can see there's the large retainer washer on the front here, and then also the one on the back. So I'm going to spin this off the back side yet. There, now as I got that, it's going to allow me to release this washer and retainer off the front. We have to be careful not to lose this spacer here either. That's very important as we put it on the new one. So now I've got the new one in the same direction. We don't want to reverse this here. So I'll install the spacer and this cover in the front. Some might refer to it as a dust cover or retainer. And then I'm going to reinstall the one on the back, and then we'll be ready to thread it back in place. All right, got it pretty well secured there. So now I can thread this into the bracket. Now I can take my wrench again and we'll tighten this up. Once I've got it properly tightened, we'll verify that it spins freely here. We want to make sure that we've got that spacer in there adequately and it's not binding up or anything. Seems to be okay. Well, let's now move to the grooved pulley on the front side of the engine. All right, so we see the grooved pulley on the front here. We can kind of slide the belt up out of the way a little bit there. But again, I'll take my 15 millimeter box wrench and we'll just break that bolt loose. Gotta be a little careful. We don't want to slide off and break the filler neck here. Once we got it loose, I'll go by hand and remove it. Okay, well there, now we got it off. Same thing, I'm going to have to remove the retainer off the back. We'll just spin that off the bolt here. So you can see now that I got this off, there's the spacer on the back side here. So I'll remove that along with kind of the dust cover off the front. And there we go. We've got that grooved pulley off. Now I'll take my new one. I'm going to install the dust cover in the front, and we'll thread the spacer and retainer on the back side here. I'm going to make sure we got it centered in the bearing there. Once it's centered in place, now I can go back down in here and thread it into the bracket on the engine. All right, so now I got it snugged up by hand. I'll take my wrench and we will get it good and tight. Again, I want to make sure it rotates freely. It does. The belt's still kind of sitting in place there. So now it's time to reinstall the belt the rest of the way. So I've got my belt tensioner tool installed again. I will release the tension here and slide the belt back over the smooth idler pulley here. I want to kind of do a visual, make sure it's still in the grooves on all the other components. And I will release the tension, put the tool away. Now we will slide the coolant reservoir back into place here. Kind of trying to be careful and keep the hose up a little bit higher so we don't have any leaks. The peg that this sits down on the bottom, and we will install the hose. I'm going to put the nuts on here and reinstall the engine cover, and just like that, we're ready to start the vehicle, ensure that our bearing noise is gone. But hopefully now you understand what it takes to replace a couple of these different option idler pulleys on a GM 3.5 liter engine.